It is live.
We are live. We are live. Hello, happy Thursday to everybody. Make sure that if you cannot catch this podcast, that you are putting us in your pocket later on.
Right there.
And if you haven't already, you should subscribe. I don't know what you're doing with your life if you haven't subscribed already. Hello.
What
These are all your buds. Hello.
are there people out there that haven't subscribed?
I don't understand it. You just got to click the button. It just takes like one extra step. Just click the
Because
button.
then you'll get the notifying when
Mhm.
when it's right there in your
You should
pocket.
do that. You should do it.
Get
Good
the-
morning. Good morning, everybody.
Hi everyone. Hello, greetings and salutations.
Salutations.
Lots to cover about the Garland hearing yesterday. We'll get to all that. There's a lot of clips. I couldn't even choose between them because there were so many good moments. So we'll talk about those. But you should know that there are rumors going around that Elon Musk, well, because the words came out of his own face in an interview not long ago, that he is considering charging a small fee to everyone who uses Twitter. Every last person.
When you say small fee, what is that? Like,
He hasn't
listen,
specified.
he's a billionaire, right? So to him, the small fee could be a couple, you know what I mean? It's like, it's relative to him.
It's going to be smaller than like if you pay for your verification. So I think that's what, like $11, $12, something like that per month. So like, that is already, that's supposed to get you some benefits when you do that. Like you're supposed to have your post seen more, whatever. If you just use the platform, but you don't care about the blue check, you are still going to have to pay something, but I don't know what it'll be. It'll just probably be a few dollars. I don't know, but I suspect that's going to send away millions of people who have 0% interest in, like you, for example. Why would you, like, you don't use Twitter all that often. So would you pay?
I would because of work. I would because of what we do. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
And I gotta be honest with you, I kind of like it now.
Well, it's a lot better now than it used to be.
I really do. I used to hate it. I used to call it the 13th circle of hell because it was really awful. People were so mean, but now I kind of like it. It's like this place where people are they're real. Like they're a little more, they're out there, they say the things and they don't get shut down. It's way better than Facebook to me now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, a lot of people, I can see a lot of people saying, nope, not paying, nope, not paying.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
The reason that he's doing this or that he's talking about doing this, again, this is not, it's not like there's a date or that it's happening for sure. He's talking about it because of how obnoxious and dangerous the bots are. So when you think about like Russian disinformation campaigns or whatever, they use bots and they all these bots say the same thing and it makes it look to people like, oh my God, so many people think the same way.
Yeah.
So those are, robots, those bots are computer generated. They're not real people and they are not going to pay a monthly fee, right? Like they're not going to insert a credit card or like input a credit card number. So it'd be a very easy and quick way to just eliminate all the garbage, which would actually be nice for the people that are left behind, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I guess. I mean, it depends on how much it is.
Right.
If it's like the price of a cup of coffee, then I would consider it.
I think it'll be less. My guess is it's going to be like $2 or $3.
Okay.
That's just a guess. I have no idea.
That's like a cup of gas station coffee. I could maybe handle that.
Yeah.
If it's like Starbucks coffee, I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah. Well, and as a result of this news, apparently there's this competitor called Blue Sky, which is super lib, like super lefty, and it's growing exponentially because of these rumors. So I have no interest in being on Blue Sky. I don't care for copycats. I'm surprised Threads, like that Instagram Threads, didn't take off more, or that it's not been quite as successful as it was like right out of the gate. Everybody was all excited about it.
Totally forgot about it.
Same. Like until I just said that, I had forgotten about it.
I was like, oh yeah, Threads. Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know how much that's used, but anyway, just keep that in mind. If you are sort of a infrequent or sporadic user of Twitter, or X as it's now called, you might have to pay coming sometime at some point.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's jump right in because I feel like today is going to be a bit of a longer show. I know I'm terrible at predicting how long the show is going to be on
every time. Listen, we get on like every single morning for pre-show, and she's like, "I think it's going to be a really short show," and I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not going to be a short show. And then we're never going to be a short show." It's always like an hour and a half show. And so today when she's like, I think it's going to be a long show. I'm like, probably.
Right. It's going to end up being like a 2-hour show. Well, you know what? And since this first round of video clips that I have all come from the Garland hearing yesterday, which was very, very explosive at times. And there's a lot to get to about that. So before we do that, let's talk about our friends at Genucel for a moment, shall we?
Yes, we should. Let me tell you about my experience with Genucel. You guys, every morning since I turned like 51, I use the immediate effects. If you guys have never heard of the immediate, it's like this little jar of magic. I started getting like super like puffy under my eyes and also above my eyes. I use that stuff every morning. So when I get out of the shower, it's like the first thing that I do, and I let it sit for like 5 minutes. The only reason I don't look like the crypt keeper talking to y'all every single morning, because it's freaking early here, you guys. It's 6:51 right now here in Texas. And before we started really early, it was like, I mean, I can't help it. There's like some bagginess happening there. So it's a miracle worker. That stuff is the bomb. Their immediate effects. It's like, that was kind of like their original thing.
Yeah, that was like their sort of bread and butter, their staple. They're like, this is our thing, and we can get rid of those bags immediately.
It feels sort of cold. It's very
tingly.
Yeah, it just kind of wakes you up in the morning, and it works. Like it does whatever it does, it works.
Well, and that is included, by the way, in the most popular package, which new folks, if you've never tried Genucel before, you can save 70% off of that most popular package right now and try it. Try the immediate effects. It also includes their bags and puffiness treatment, which is a separate thing, which is more of a long-term solution. It's got the dark spot corrector. It's got the XV cream. It has the amazing microdermabrasion treatment called Crystals, which is just to die for. It's so good as a weekly exfoliator. All that stuff is included in the most popular package. You can save 70% off of it when you go to genucel.com/chicks, genucel.com/chicks, and use code chicks at genucel.com/chicks. By the way, did you know that they have a compliments guarantee?
A compliments guarantee.
Yeah. So the guarantee is you will get your money back if you don't get a compliment about how much younger you look.
Oh my God, I love
For real.
that.
Like that is how much they believe and how confident they are that you're going to love their stuff.
I love that so much. That's pretty awesome, you guys.
Yeah.
Take them up on that.
It's a confidence guarantee. All right. There is no reason for my name today other than that I was purely out of ideas. So don't get worried that we're not going to be talking about Molotov cocktails.
No one's rioting. It's fine. Well, I mean, somebody probably is somewhere, but we don't know about it. Right.
All right. Let's get to the Garland hearing. So if you missed some of the coverage from this, we've got all of the highlights for you. We're going to kick it off with Mike Johnson, who I know you have a crush on. I see what you're talking about there. Very, very, there's just something about him that's like nerdy, but like also like tough. You know what I'm saying?
I like the tough nerds.
Tough nerds. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the turds.
We're going to kick it off with him because he was getting very aggravated, as a lot of the people were, that Garland just won't answer direct questions. It's very staying in character for the entire White House administration. So Mike Johnson was trying to get an answer from him about whether he'd had specific conversations with David Weiss about the Hunter stuff. Here's how that went.
Well, I'm just under oath today. Your testimony is you have not had any discussions with Mr. Weiss about this matter?
Under oath, my testimony today is that I promised the Senate I would not intrude in his investigation. I do not intend to discuss the internal Justice Department deliberations, whether or not I had them.
Oh, okay. So your testimony today is you're not going to tell us whether you've had discussions with Mr. Weiss.
My testimony today is I told the committee that I would not interfere. I made clear that Mr. Weiss would have the authority to bring cases that he thought were appropriate.
Okay.
Mr. Weiss's letter.
Right. Okay. Let me.
He just has no patience for him.
No, he doesn't at all. Yeah, I usually like the ball guys, but I give this guy a pass for sure because he's a tough nerd.
He is a tough nerd.
Yeah,
he went on.
He was, yeah. And you can see as he goes on, like Garland, I mean, you and I were texting back and forth yesterday. He was very squirmy. Did you notice?
Very
He was
squirmy.
like, this hearing made him very uncomfortable, you guys, very uncomfortable.
He didn't like it. And Mike Johnson asked, what about, have you had conversations with the FBI about Hunter? Still, it kind of went like this.
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
I don't recollect the answer to that question, but the FBI works for the Justice Department.
I'm sorry. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation of the president's son?
I don't believe that I did. I promised the Senate when I came before it for confirmation that I would leave Mr. Weiss in place and that I would not interfere with his investigation.
Okay,
I have kept that promise.
All right.
He's so full of crap. It's just
God.
unbelievable. The amount of lying that happened yesterday was just astounding to me.
It was pretty remarkable. And Matt Gaetz, God bless him, he went after him on the whole Hunter Biden selling his blow art stuff. And I've got 2 Gaetz clips for you because he's just so good at this. Here's the first.
I got it. So Hunter Biden is selling art to pay for his $15,000 a month rent in Malibu. How can you guarantee that the people buying that art aren't doing so to gain favor with the president?
The job of the Justice Department is to investigate criminal allegations. You have information.
Are you investigating this? I mean, someone who bought Hunter Biden's art ended up with a prestigious appointment to a federal position. Doesn't it look weird that he's become this immediate success in the art world as his dad is president of the United States? Isn't that odd?
I'm not going to comment about any specific.
Not going to comment, not going to investigate. So
right.
Hunter Biden associate Devin Archer told us.
I love that so much. It's true.
Yeah.
Just gonna la Merrick Garland la Biden's la, and then everybody else, and then listen, parents that are concerned about their kids' schooling, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna focus on them. But the Bidens la.
What? There's nothing shady here. This all's totally on the up and up.
Go after the Catholics.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to the Catholics.
I know we
too.
will. Yeah.
But Matt Gaetz was also asking about just the bribes and just his incredulousness about Merrick Garland's inability to see just plain evidence right in front of him. He's all of us, right? Here's Matt Gaetz.
Do you know about the money that moved through Rob Walker's shell companies? Yes or no?
As I have said repeatedly, I have left these matters to Mr. Weiss. I've not intruded. I've not interfered. I've not tried to find out what he knows.
It's like you're looking the other way on purpose because everybody knows this stuff's happening. And you know what? People don't pay bribes to not get something in return, right? The China initiative resulted in the convictions of a Harvard professor, of someone at Monsanto. So we were working against the Chinese. They paid the Bidens. And now you're sitting here telling me that North Korea is the big threat. I got to get...
He was awesome. He was on fire yesterday. Gaetz was.
So many of them were. I mean, it just was. And Jim Jordan, we talked yesterday about this whole statute, or maybe the day before, about the statute of limitations running out on so many of the years of Hunter Biden's tax records that he was defrauding the government.
Yeah.
And so Jim Jordan, again, he's pointing out the obvious to Merrick Garland, who's just like, what? I don't know. My God, here's Jim Jordan.
Intentional decision to say we're going to let the statute of limitations lapse. And I want to know who decided that and why they did it.
Mr. Weiss was a supervisor of the investigation at that time and at all times. He made the appropriate decisions, and you'll be able to ask him that question, and he will.
You know why they did it. Everyone knows why they did it.
Exactly.
May not say it, but everyone knows why they did it. They didn't. Those tax years, that dealt with that involved the president. It's one thing to have a gun charge in Delaware. That doesn't involve the president of the United States. But Burisma, oh my, that goes right to the White House. We can't have that. And we can slow walk this thing along. We can even extend the statute of limitations, and then we can intentionally let it lapse. And we know this investigation was slow. Here's what everyone said. Shapley said, DOJ slow walked the investigation. Ziegler, Slow walking in the approvals of everything. This happened at the Delaware's attorney's office and DOJ tax level. Mr. Sobocinski, the FBI agent, said, I would have liked to see things move faster. Ms. Holly said the same. Every witness we've talked to said this thing was slow walked, and we know why. They slow walked it long enough to let the statute of limitations run so they wouldn't have to get into Burisma. From California.
It's true. They slow walk the crap out of that. And then look at all the people that were put in jail for J6, right?
Yeah.
And it would happen like that. Like grannies in jail in like 2 seconds. Good Lord.
Representative McClintock, too, who we've long adored, he went after Garland about the decisions that he's made, who to assign to, for example, like the special prosecutor into the Trump stuff, Jack Smith, who's been just a disaster and who has a really shady record, and David Weiss himself. And so he went hard after this. It was awesome.
Is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Attorney General, looking again at the appointment of Jack Smith and David Weiss, this double standard of justice couldn't be more glaring. Jack Smith was deeply involved in the IRS scandal that targeted conservative political groups to harass. His malicious prosecution of former Governor McDonnell was unanimously overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. Chief Justice Roberts rebuked Smith directly for attempting to criminalize political activity. You appointed him to prosecute Joe Biden's chief rival for the presidency. And then we have the appointment of David Weiss. Weiss deliberately allowed the statute of limitations to run out on any charges that could have implicated Joe Biden in influence peddling. He originally offered Hunter Biden a sweetheart deal that was ultimately upended by the court. And he's the one you appointed to pursue the charges that could implicate Joe Biden. That leads me to only two explanations, either corruption or incompetence. So which is it?
Those are the kind of questions that judges would rule out of order.
I'm sure you would. Which is
Look, I said before, and I will say again, Mr. Weiss was the Republican-appointed United States attorney appointed by President Trump.
Do you at least see the obvious double standard applied in these two appointments?
Mr. Weiss was a Republican appointee. Mr. Smith is not registered to either party. His entire career was as a career prosecutor.
I'm not asking what their party registrations are. I'm asking about their records and how those records would commend them to the appointments that you made. This is a question of judgment, and it's a question of motive. What was motivating you to do this?
Mr. Smith had a nationwide reputation for integrity and for appropriate prosecution. His work can be measured by what he actually has filed. Everyone in the country can see the indictment.
How can you say that after he was so heavily implicated in the IRS scandal or the rebuke that the Supreme Court gave and many other examples? But let me go on.
See, that's the thing. He kept going back to that whole Republican thing.
Yep.
As if
Trump appointed.
Right. As if that excuses him from being a complete jerk. Right.
Yeah, and we'll talk about how that appointment actually happened, because people keep leaning on that as if it is an excuse, and it is entirely not. And so we'll show how that worked, how that actually happened, so that we can put that to bed once and for all. Because you're right, Garland over and over and over and over again tried to just lean on that.
And I can't believe that he does that, because that sets him up for failure for everybody. Because what does that have to do? Party affiliation should have nothing to do with this for anybody.
Right.
Across the board. Why is he even bringing that into play? He just kept saying that over and over and over again. Dude, shut up.
And there was one representative, I can't remember her name right now, but we've got her too, who just asks that question directly, and it's awesome. But first, to go back to your point about the Catholic thing, and we remember Christopher Wray testifying about this, saying, oh, well, it was just one itsy bitsy little FBI office that sent out a letter that said Catholics are extremists. That was just one, and we were horrified. We were horrified by it, Christopher Wray said, until they proved to Christopher Wray it wasn't just one field office.
Even though that thing was written, it had to go through like several different channels for it to be sent out, because that's how bureaucracy works. And then all of a sudden they were horrified. I mean, get bent, right?
So Jeff Van Drew asks Merrick Garland whether he believes that Catholics are, in fact, extremists.
Attorney General, through the chair, I ask you, do you agree that traditional Catholics are violent extremists?
I have no idea what the traditional means here.
Catholics.
Let me just
go to church.
May I answer your question?
Yes
the
or no?
idea that someone with my family background
my pearls.
would discriminate against any religion is so outrageous, so absurd.
Mr. Attorney General, it was your FBI that did this. It was your FBI that was sending, and we have the memos, we have the emails, we're sending undercover agents into Catholic churches.
Both I and the director of the FBI have said that we were appalled. Have said that we were appalled by that memo.
So then you agree that they're not extremists?
We were appalled by that memo.
Are they extremists or not, Attorney General?
I think that...
Are they extremists or not, Attorney General?
Everything in that memo is
Are they
appalling.
extremists or not? I'm asking a simple question. Say no if you think that was wrong.
Catholics are not extremists. No.
Was that so hard?
Oh my God, that took a while.
God.
Good Lord.
I mean,
it's not hard, Garland.
Good for Van Drew, man, for pushing and pushing and pushing.
God, just say yes or no. You twit. My God, how hard is it?
Apparently it's that hard.
They were just, I mean, how dare you call him somebody who would just do that? He's clutching his pearls. He's so upset about it. So upset, you guys.
Thomas Massey asked him about the fact that it seems like Elon is being sued or investigated by the federal government now that Elon is no longer considered to be on their team. Ever since Elon took over Twitter, they're now, it's like, oh, Elon needs to be investigated. And so Thomas Massey asks for an explanation about why there's been no similar investigations into Mark Zuckerberg, for example, who is proven to actually interfere in the election with all of his the way that he was doing money stuff in Florida.
Right.
Oh my God. So I love Thomas Massey. Here he is asking about the Elon thing.
General Garland, Elon Musk was a Democrat who admittedly supported Biden, but then he became a critic of the administration and exposed the censorship regime. Now, per public reports, the DOJ has opened not one but two investigations of Elon Musk. Mark Zuckerberg, on the other hand, spent $400 million in 2020 tilting the elections secretly for Democrats. No investigations whatsoever. To the American public, these look like mafia tactics. You pays your money, we look the other way. You get in our way, we punish you. The American public sees what these tactics are.
I mean, not to mention that Mark Zuckerberg is from Gleeborg 9 and he kills goats for dinner. I mean, that's just some messed up stuff. Somebody needs to investigate that guy.
Somebody does need to.
That dude is just whack. All right. Have you seen him?
Somebody needs to investigate his hairline.
His hairline is very suspect.
Stare. It's all
suspect, you guys.
All suspect.
Investigate it.
Thomas Massey also brought up the fact that Ray Epps has been charged with a single count of, I don't even remember what the count was. It was so stupid in comparison to so many of the other January 6 folks who are literally rotting in prison right now. Mm-hmm. Ray Epps was out there telling everyone to go into the Capitol, and he's got one count of I don't even remember what it is. It's like mischief or criminal mischief. I don't even know.
Or something, isn't it? Yeah, it's like nothing. Yeah.
It's absolutely nothing. So Thomas Massey is mad about that. Here he is.
And by the way, that was in reference to Ray Epps. And yesterday you indicted him. Isn't that a wonderful coincidence? On a misdemeanor. Meanwhile, you're sending grandmas to prison. You're putting people away for 20 years for merely filming. Some people weren't even there yet. You got the guy on video who's saying go into the Capitol. He's directing people to the Capitol before the speech ends. He's at the site of the first breach. You've got all the goods on him, 10 videos, and it's an indictment for a misdemeanor. The American public isn't buying it. I yield the balance of my...
We're not buying it.
We're not buying what you're selling at all. Mm-mm. We're not buying it.
Nope. We're not. Mm-hmm. And amazingly, Garland has the audacity to insist, and I believe this comes from his opening statement, that there are not two systems of justice, you guys. Just take it from him.
Our job is not to do what is politically convenient. Our job is not to take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate. As the president himself has said, and I reaffirm today, I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor. The Justice Department works for the American people. Our job is to follow the facts and the law.
Right.
That is what we do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nobody believes you. He is so full of crap. His eyes are brown. Like, I just can't with this guy. Lies, lies, lies.
Yeah. Thompson twins.
Thompson twins.
Lies, lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to take a moment to hear from some of the other side. There were Democrats who were also at this hearing, and they did a phenomenal job. Let me just give you an example of a phenomenal job done by Mr. Penguin himself.
Oh, yeah.
Justice and Attorney General Garland to address any number of real substantive problems facing the American people. Instead, House Republicans will use their time today to talk about long discredited conspiracy theories and Hunter Biden's laptop. They will do it because they care more about the...
Oh my God, that guy. He's like, there's no such thing as Antifa.
There's no laptop. That's
no
been
laptop.
debunked.
It's a conspiracy theory.
Wow. Wow.
God, this guy, I swear. Nadler.
I know.
He's like a whole other. He also is from Gleeborg 9. I don't know if you guys know that. He's also from there. He needs to be investigated.
So we earlier mentioned about how often Merrick Garland kept saying Trump appointed, David Weiss is a Trump appointee, Trump appointed. Well, Ms. Hageman, Representative Hageman, had enough.
I think she actually replaced Liz Cheney. Am I mistaken?
Is that right?
I think, I may be mistaken, but I feel like she replaced, maybe I'm wrong, but you guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
That's totally possible.
Yes.
Totally,
but anyway,
totally
she's
possible.
awesome. Nevertheless, she's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she was not having it anymore. And this is what she said.
The things you have done over and repeated over and over and over again is that to point out that Mr. Weiss was appointed as U.S. Attorney by President Trump, as though that somehow inoculates him from criticism by us. Is that really how this game is played? That if someone is appointed by a Republican, then they're supposed to be on the Republican team? Or if they're appointed by a Democrat, they're on the Democrat team? You were appointed by Mr. Biden, weren't you? Are you on the Democrat team?
Let me just be clear. The point of that he was appointed by a Republican counteracts the claim that this was a partisan decision to benefit Democrats.
He remained as a member of the Department of Justice.
Mr. Chairman.
I love her. Yes, she did replace Cheney. Thank you for confirming that. I also love all of her turquoise jewelry. That's part of the reason it gave it away from me, that she is from that state.
Is that a Wyoming thing?
Totally fabulous. Yes, she is a cowgirl. Anyways, that was awesome. I love that whole exchange.
Eric Swalwell.
Oh my God. This was just, I was screaming at the TV when this happened yesterday. Screaming.
You guys, what is wrong with him? What is wrong with him?
He is just, this guy has no sense of self. I mean, it's like, how can you be like this?
It's amazing. Here's what he thought about the entire hearing.
Mr. Attorney General, you are serious. They are not.
Oh my God.
You are decent. They are not.
Oh my God.
You are fair. They are not.
Okay. You banged a Chinese spy,
right?
And then you farted on television. You have
sit down.
Just to take every seat and never speak again, ever.
Yes.
You don't get to do that.
So here's how everybody, just so it's clear, when a person like David Weiss is appointed as a judicial nominee, what happens is that the two senators from the state say yay or nay to that potential appointee. Both senators from Delaware are Democrat. So they had no reason not to support that nomination. And so what's Trump supposed to do? Be like, no, like I'm not going. They picked him. The 2 Democrat senators picked him. And then Trump was like, all right. And so that's the extent to which he is a Trump appointee.
Exactly.
It's so stupid that people keep using this as some sort of way to say, oh, he's like totally Trump's favorite person. Trump wanted him. No, that's not how this works.
Yep.
So anyway, that's enough of the Merrick Garland.
Have we had enough? Have we all had enough? Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you had like the nice exclamation point of fart boy. That was great. Good job, Mock. Great.
It is time to remind everybody about our friends at Rough Greens. So if you have not given your dog the amazing gift of this delicious health supplement that's made just for dogs by brilliant naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who is focusing on the health of your dog every day of his life. That's all he does ever. He's done it for 30 years. Please try this. It's free. You get to try a Jumpstart trial bag of this for free. All you have to do is cover the shipping cost. And the way that you can do that is to go to roughchicks.com. It's RUFF chicks.com, and you can get it. All you do is pay the shipping fee. And by the way, I love that their tagline, or not their tagline, but one of the things that they say about this product is it's the only thing that your dog will ask for by name. Get it?
I get it.
See what they did there?
I see what they did there. I totally see what they did there. Yeah.
So again, it's got all the vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, antioxidants, probiotics, omega oils, and they even have treats.
The treats are awesome. Our puppy loves those treats. Yeah, and they won't hurt their tummies.
It won't hurt their tummies. So get your free Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens. Again, you're just covering shipping. That's it. Your dog is going to love it. You just sprinkle it on their dead food. It brings it to life. They love the taste of it. Visit Rough Chicks, RUFFchicks.com. Do it. I know we spent a lot of time yesterday on the illegal migrant issue. I mean, it's a huge problem. It continues to get markedly worse, if you can believe it. And Bill Maluzhin with the fabulous hair did a very nice recap of what's going on right now. It is horrifying, the numbers that we're seeing. I know we've said that for the past 3 years. We've been saying that. We're completely being invaded. And I don't know why people aren't freaking out more about this, but they should be. Here's Bill to explain.
Bill, we are getting some new staggering numbers from our CBP contacts telling us that between Friday and Monday, there were over 35,000 migrant encounters at our southern border. You do the math on that, that's almost 9,000 every single day. Astronomical numbers approaching record highs. In the meantime, local communities out here have to deal with it every day. Take a look at this video. Human smuggling pursuit. Video courtesy of Texas DPS. Their troopers involved in a high-speed pursuit in Kinney County. An illegal immigrant driving a stolen truck has a truck full of illegal immigrants fleeing from troopers. They end up spike stripping him. He loses control of the car and goes off into the brush. The DPS helicopter thermal camera shows everybody bailing out of that vehicle, running off in different directions. That's the driver and 6 illegal immigrants. Another human smuggling bus. Take a look at this footage out of Dimmitt County. Texas DPS troopers once again stopping a truck that was hauling a sand trailer. That truck was stolen out of the San Antonio area. So they search it and they find 9 illegal immigrants being smuggled in that sand trailer, which I will add was sealed at the top. There was no escape, no ventilation. Obviously a huge problem in the Texas heat. The driver now charged with human smuggling with likelihood of injury or death for those migrants. Then we'll take you down to the Rio Grande Valley. Take a look at this video. We embedded with Texas DPS troopers as they work with Border Patrol in the brush, trying to track down these illegal immigrant evaders and runners. These are the guys trying to be the gotaways, the ones who do not want to turn themselves in for one reason or another. Sometimes they've got a criminal record. DPS catching a handful of them. You'll see some of them are wearing red cartel wristbands, indicating they have paid a Mexican drug cartel to cross illegally into the United States, and we're were hoping to sneak further before they were caught by these Texas troopers. Lastly, take a look at these wild photos out of El Paso in West Texas. Border Patrol there arresting a group of illegal immigrants they found evading in the sewer system underneath the city. They had already crossed illegally into El Paso and were using the storm drains and sewers to try to evade apprehension and get deeper into the city. Border Patrol agents arresting this group as they were literally underground trying to evade law enforcement. And back out here live, Border Patrol announcing that right here in Eagle Pass, their agents just arrested a convicted murderer who crossed illegally, as well as another illegal immigrant who's got a conviction for sexual assault of a minor. And that is why it is so important to catch those guys who are trying to evade. We'll send it back to you.
The number of unaccompanied children that were found every day last week, staggering. Bill Malugin, thank you. Back in Eagle Pass today.
This is all the Democrats' fault.
Yeah.
They invited this. They want this. It's on them. Every Democrat that's like, bring us, you're tired and you're hungry and like you're a xenophobe if you don't want this. Okay. They're the ones who attracted this. They're the ones. This is not the best of the best, you guys. We're not attracting the best of the best. And then not to mention the children that are being trafficked. This is on Democrats. When these children and women are being sex trafficked, this is on them. And this is why these people are like, The Sound of Freedom, that movie, that's a conspiracy theory. Really? Okay.
Well, and then too, you remember how Abbott had ordered like the wire to be put in areas where people were crossing a lot. So they put up all this wire to prevent it, to deter people. And then Biden's administration ordered their agents, federal agents, to go and cut down the wire. Now ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Why, when one tiny thing might be preventing actual murderers and violent criminals from coming over here, why would the Biden administration be going to those lengths to try to disallow us from protecting our own border?
Right.
It's because they want this, because this is by design, and because Biden doesn't care what these criminals do to American citizens. He does not care.
It's Biden and it's Democrats. They voted for this shit.
Yeah.
They voted for it. Remember that.
My God.
Liberals want this. It's the fundamental transformation. Don't you remember? That's what Obama used to talk about all the time. The fundamental transfer. We're watching it happen before our very eyes. It is by design. All by design.
It's totally by design. Unless it's a Democrat mayor or governor who's like, wait a minute, I didn't think this was supposed to come to my town. Wait a minute, this is bad now.
Right.
So here's Ted Cruz reacting to Bill's report.
Yeah, look, we're seeing this happen all across the country. You've got the Democrat mayor of New York City. You've got the Democrat mayor of Washington, D.C. You've got the Democrat mayor of Chicago. You've got the Democrat mayor of San Francisco. You've got the Democrat mayor of Los Angeles. All of them are declaring that illegal immigration is a crisis. You've got the Democrat governor of New York State. You've got the Democrat governor of Massachusetts. They're all dealing with the consequences. Eric Adams said, the mayor of New York, just 2 weeks ago, he said that illegal immigration is destroying New York City. Those are his words, not mine. And that if we don't do something to stop it, that it will destroy New York City. Now, he's not wrong. But it is also enormously hypocritical because he blames the problem on, as he puts it, some madman down in Texas, by which he means Greg Abbott, our governor, because the governor has put several thousand illegal immigrants on buses and sent them to blue jurisdictions across the country. Look, the numbers that are being bussed from Texas are a fraction. As you noted, New York has had roughly 110,000 illegal immigrants, and he says that is a crisis destroying the city. The state of Texas and our entire southern border have had, during that same time period, 7.2 million illegal immigrants. As you just noted, as Bill Malugin did in his terrific report, we're getting about 9,000 people a day. That means in 12 days, we get on our southern border what New York is saying is a crisis over the last 2 years. We're getting that over and over and over again.
Yeah. So Adams said that. So Adams and all of these Democrats can suck it. I am so sick of hearing it. They're the biggest bunch of hypocrites. Deal with your policies. Eat it. Seriously, eat it and enjoy it and digest it. And see what you've done. You have done this. Lie in the bed that you have made. This is exactly what you have done. You have done it. This is on you. This is on the Democrats. This is on Obama. This is on Biden. This is on all of these Democrat mayors and all of these governors who have said, we're sanctuary. Like, we take them in. We love this. We want it. You want it. You take it. I'm so sick of these people.
Tina Kramer, thank you so much, says, my son lives in El Paso. I worry so much for him and my grandbabies. It is so bad there.
You should. God bless him. You should. And you know what? El Paso used to be so beautiful. El Paso is the place that Beto is from. And when I went and watched remember what was a couple of months ago, probably 12 months ago, I went to go see Beto speak here outside of Marlin, which is close to where I live, because I wanted to see what that Yahoo had to say. People thought he was so great. He talked extensively about immigration. But I mean, it's like, you would not believe the people who fawned over that guy, and he wanted to be governor. Can you imagine? That loser becoming governor of this beautiful state, or like once beautiful state? I mean, it's now we're decaying here in Texas because of all this madness. But he had the audacity to tell people that everything's fine, that the border's fine, that, the people who are against illegal immigration are the wrong ones. I mean, he has no idea. That guy's a freaking criminal to begin with. But I mean, shut up. Those people are not serious people. They don't understand. We are not against immigration. We're against illegal immigration, and it will lead to our demise as a country. It's happening. We're watching it happen right now.
We can't withstand this kind of invasion.
No.
We can't.
No.
Stuart the Brit, thank you. Stuart says, I lived in Africa for 11 years. You American lovelies can't even imagine what you have coming. I have seen it. That is terrifying.
Yeah, and he's right.
Thank you, Stuart the Brit, for that.
Right.
My God. Here's what's going on. I forget where exactly this house is, but this is a news report about a house that clearly a bunch of migrants were all staying in one place, and it's a complete hazard. This is just gross. Look at this.
On the outside, this looks like a classic Cape Cod-style 1,500 square foot single-family home in New City. But Rockland County officials say inside it was a disaster waiting to happen.
We believe at least 31, maybe more individuals living in this house. Some of the most egregious conditions we've ever seen. The electrical totally overloaded, extension cords all over the place. You can see right there, that's the garage. Those are children on those mattresses in the garage. Mattress upon mattress upon mattress. This would have been an absolute disaster had there been a fire in this house. People would have died here. First responders would have been injured or killed.
Unbelievable.
This is what's happening everywhere.
It's just unreal. And somebody said something about San Antonio. San Antonio is becoming a dump. I'll say it.
Oh my God.
It's just because it's seriously, when it comes to crime, the crime there is becoming out of control. We went to a swim meet just a couple weeks ago. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't go to that swim meet. My husband and my daughter went, and we usually, when we go to swim meets, we'll travel, a couple days at a time, like 2 days at a time. They went and stayed at a hotel, which it's one of my favorite hotels. I told my husband usually is so freaking cheap. And I told him, I said, stay at this nicer hotel, which is one of my favorite. I won't say what it is, but it's one of my favorite hotels.
Why? You can.
Estancia del Norte, which is, I love it. It's like kind of a Spanish style hotel, and I just love it so much. But it's right off the highway, but it's always been really safe, always. And my daughter and I love staying there. I love it. It's just like a really neat, the way that it looks is really cute. It has like a courtyard and everything. Anyways, I told him, I said, stay there, because you always stay in these crappy hotels, and then, there's always bugs, and my daughter always complains, Dad is cheap, And so anyways, they stayed there. The first night they were there, the truck was broken into. I mean, this is just what happens. So my daughter got kind of freaked out and everything. But the cop told my husband, listen, that if you have a truck, they look for trucks. And what they look for is guns and tools.
Wow.
They don't care about anything else. That's what they're looking for. Huh. And so now he knows. I'll never take the truck. I won't take the truck if we go on these trips again. I'll take your stupid little Kia, or you know what I mean? Or like, you got to be careful where you go. And this is what sucks now about, it's like, but think about that. They're looking for guns and tools. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
best
terrifying. Of the best, you guys. Best of the best.
And now Biden is just hiding his head in the sand. I mean, even though he was in New York to do the whole United Nations speaking gig that he bumbled through. He refuses to meet with Mayor Adams, and that's a member of his own party. And apparently they haven't spoken in some time. Listen to this news report.
Despite the UN being just 4 avenues away from the Roosevelt Hotel, which is the migrant intake center here in New York City, the president has no plans to visit or address the migrant crisis here in New York. In fact, he has no plans to meet with Mayor Adams during his 3-day visit, a departure from last year when the two met and attended fundraisers together. The federal government also making no indication that they intend to increase funding to New York City. FEMA providing $104 million. For context, that covers just 13 days of the crisis here. The Biden administration frustrated with Adams' response and his inability to stop the crisis, also pointing the finger at Congress to do more.
I swear. And then our, kids who are the kids of legal tax-paying American citizens lose.
Right.
Our kids lose. Our grandkids lose. How's that okay?
It's just not okay. And I continue to be glad that this is impacting other cities, particularly Democrat cities, so that it actually gets the coverage that it deserves. But man, at what point, like how many more people need to get here before something is done?
Well, you know
what?
Crazy. What needs to happen is they need to Abbott or DeSantis or whoever, the guys with the balls, they need to send the illegals, a lot of them, a ton of them need to go on the White House lawn. Yeah. They just need to dump them right on the White House lawn, like a shit ton of them right on the White House lawn. That's what we need to see. I mean, Martha's Vineyard was neat. And like these other, I get it. I mean, I get the whole like DC area and I get the whole like New York City. I get it. But put them right on the lawn. And then we'll see what happens.
Did you see that Trump is now getting hit with, because he retweeted a funny meme, like a picture of alligators that said, "This is how you solve the migrant problem."
Oh, are people mad about that because they think it's mean to migrants?
And I'm like, I'm the one that suggested sharks and piranhas.
Right.
So
with
don't
lasers.
go after Trump.
you wanted lasers coming out of their eyes too. Yeah.
I want all of the bitey to go after. This will take care of the problem.
This isn't mean. It's not mean. Why is it that if I want to like just go jump the border into, I don't know where, to Germany, I can't do, you can't do that. You can't, if I want to jump the border into any other country, I can't do, what if I want, perfect example. I can't just go run and be a citizen of Iceland. My kids have looked into it. Like my older kids, they're like, we love Iceland. It'd be awesome to live there. Wouldn't that be cool? You can't do it. They only take the best of the best. You have to make a certain amount of money. It's like, what are they racist? No, they're not racist. They just want the best of the best. You have to be a certain type of person. You have to make a certain amount of money. You have to jump through all these hoops. You have to pay. It's like, it is hard as hell to be a citizen of Iceland. You can't just hop the border and go live there. Why are we not that way?
And then get a bunch of benefits and free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Why are we not that way? And why is it that when we decide we want to be that way, we're somehow xenophobes? What the hell?
It makes no sense at all.
No, it doesn't make sense.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that our government is likely to shut down by the end of this month, and that is not ever a good thing. There's lots of battles happening between Matt Gaetz and between McCarthy and between Republicans in general. And
why is it not a good thing, Mark? Why is it not a good thing?
If the government shuts down,
is it not a good thing?
I mean, I think it's going to happen. We'll see. At this point, I don't know. That's why I leave conversations about financial impacts of a government shutdown to smarter people than me. So I know Maria Bartiromo was on with Jesse Waters. They were talking about this. So here is her take.
But could Republicans step on a rake and then shut down the government over spending nonsense?
Yeah, I think that we will likely see a government shutdown.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
So with Joe Biden losing to Donald Trump, with Bidenomics bombing, inflation jacked up, gas prices coming back up, and an impeachment headed his way, You think the Republicans are just going to screw things up and shut down the government?
Jesse, we're supposed to have a budget of $1.5 trillion. The Democrats spent $6 trillion in the last couple of years. People in the conservative area here do not want to see Nancy Pelosi's spending policies for another 30 seconds. Forget about 30 days. So this fight is going to continue. Hopefully they can agree on a continuing resolution, but the Democrats are trying to connect the two, connect the government shutdown to all of this criminality we're talking about. There's no connection. They're not trying to shut down the government because of all of this. They're shutting down the government to stop once and for all the reckless spending. I don't know. I will say this. In the past, a government shutdown was coincided with a rally in the stock market.
Oh, so you like the shutdown?
No, I'm not saying I like the shutdown. I'm saying if it goes that way, it's not the end of the world.
Okay, so it's not the end of the world, but all the times when they shut it down, the party that shuts it down gets blamed. Right. And if you're talking about a shutdown, you're not talking about crime, the border, impeachment, inflation.
And that's the reality of it as well. The mainstream media is not talking about any of that.
I mean, she's absolutely right. But if you could look at the government, all the people in government, all of our Congress critters, senators and whatnot, and you looked at them and I would be like, what is it that you say that you do here?
Well, if only the government shut down their salaries and
did
not retro pay them when the government kicks in again.
Right.
I would be like, just this is the way.
I think that's what and I think that's what people don't understand is that when we shut down the government, it doesn't shut down their money. They keep getting paid. So if they may like act like they're upset, like, oh my God, it's shutting us down, but they still get freaking paid, you guys.
Yep. We've talked a lot about what, if anything, Ronna McDaniel and the GOP is doing to protect the integrity of the next election. And so she was on with Laura Ingraham last night. Laura was asking her, are Republicans doing like early voting, mail-in voting, ballot harvesting, all of those things? So Ronna gave an update about that. You can decide if this makes you feel more secure in the upcoming election. Here's Ronna.
Ronna, on the issue of mail-ins, I can't tell you how many people come up to me when I travel saying, are we on top of this now? Are we registering people? Are the mail-in ballot applications actually going to be then returned and collected by Republican volunteers? Are there groups out there that are planning to do this to canvass the country at outside church parking lots, if that's legal, or NASCAR, if that's wherever you go, old folks' homes? I mean, they're doing it, so why don't we do it?
So we're doing it. I mean, we won 4 House seats in California in 2020 in a presidential year, ballot harvesting. We won a new one with Duarte in 2022, ballot harvesting. We have to do it. Those are drop boxes at the church. We were doing ballot collection. We're going to do this in all these states. We have to. But we do need to vote earlier, and we need to change the culture in our party. We have people saying, don't vote by mail, don't send your ballot in early, and there's a couple things to that. Like you mentioned earlier, JD said things happen on Election Day, but it's also a financial issue. If you're holding your ballot that entire 30-day early voting period, it means I'm spending money chasing your ballot that whole time.
That's a great point.
So if you vote that first day, it frees up money for me to go chase swing voters and independent voters. So the earlier you vote, you've got to trust that we're going to protect it. We'll have the poll watchers. We'll have the poll workers. But we need our money to go further so that we can chase those other voters that we need to turn out and not try and get it all in on Election Day. The football analogy is you don't wait till the fourth quarter to score. We have to score in every quarter of the game.
And everyone just has to remember, what did they bank? Hundreds of thousands of votes for poor old Fetterman in Pennsylvania? So by the time they got around to, trying to get the Republican in there, they had already banked all those votes. So it's the Republicans who got to bank the votes this time. Ronna?
I don't know. I beg to differ. Tennessee usually waits until the fourth quarter to score a lot of its votes. There's a lot of teams that, I'm just saying. I don't know about that and that football analogy, but I
don't understand the money part of that.
I don't either. I'm not really sure I understand the money part. Like she says that since you're not sending your ballot in, we're spending money to get you.
I didn't know that was something that they tracked from a money expenditure standpoint. Like, are they watching, well, when is Mox filing her vote?
Right.
Oh, okay. If she filed it on the first day, then we're not going to send her this mailer, or we're not going to, what are they not going to do that they would have otherwise done?
Right.
I don't understand that at all.
I don't really either, which is, it's weird to me. I don't understand that either.
Do you feel better?
No, I don't feel better at all. Do you guys feel better? I feel 0.0% better than I did before. I don't. I
also do not feel better.
I just want to watch some football this weekend. That's all I got out of that clip. I mean, not saying that I didn't get much out of that clip except for that. And I also wanted to see her face. Like, how's her face holding up? Is her face holding up okay, you guys? You think
full? I mean, it's very
like
full.
Yeah,
and smooth.
It doesn't move. It's basically like a pillow with a mouth.
Yeah. Thank you, Lori McCoy. Lori says, my son gets married this Saturday. Congratulations. Both will be our last name. There was some question about this.
Oh, is this the one that you were saying that are you the person that you were saying she was going to make him take her last name? Remember?
Oh, okay.
We talked about that in our deep dive. I think you're the person that, yes. And now she's going to take your last name.
Okay.
Which is
That's
awesome.
Great.
Because that's traditional. And I love that. That's awesome. Yay.
That's the way it ought to be.
Yay. I love that.
And thank you for that. Thank you. Rudy Giuliani has a new accusation from Cassidy, I think her name is, the same chick that testified that Trump crawled from the backseat of a car to climb over and take over the steering wheel, related to January 6th. Do you remember this, Cassie Hutchinson?
I remember that. Cassie,
something like that.
Cassidy,
anyway, she is now accusing Rudy Giuliani of groping her that day.
Right.
And it just happens, and this is totally weird, but it just happens to coincide with the fact that she's got a new book out.
Oh, yeah.
So Rudy's not happy with this accusation, as you might imagine, and he was on with Eric Bolling to discuss.
About RICO, because you brought the mob down using RICO, which is very inventive and actually worked very well. Mr. Mayor, before we let you go, there was something circulating earlier today. This Cassidy Hutchinson is making a claim about you.
Completely, absolutely false, totally absurd. She claims that I groped her in a tent on January 6th, where all the people went in that were very, very cold as a result of the president's speech, etc. I'm going to grope somebody with 100 people. First, I'm not going to grope somebody at all. And number two, in front of 100 people. Plus, that day, I had extra security, and I had my entire staff around me virtually all day, because I took them to the speech as kind of a reward for all the work they did. So I brought 10 people to the speech, and they were with me virtually at every moment that I was there. And if I wasn't talking to them, I was taking pictures with people. So there would have been no occasion for this to happen. It's completely absurd. It's as crazy as her statement that the president jumped over the seat and took over the car.
Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you had an opportunity to defend yourself, because always, you're not going to get that anywhere else, because the left, the mainstream media.
I got plenty of witnesses for this one, so I'm really thinking about going after her and the publication.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Rudy Giuliani, Mr. Mayor.
Snap. She had a lot going on that day, didn't she?
She had a lot going on.
There was a busy schedule that day on her day planner. There's a lot.
On her Franklin planner.
On her Franklin Covey planner. She had a lot going on. A lot to fill in there in the blanks. Yeah.
It just does seem so sketch. A
lot of stuff.
I just can't.
Yeah, Cassidy. She's selling a book there, everybody.
Mm-hmm. She's selling it.
Run out there and buy it. Make her some money.
You guys, Kamala. Kamala was at this, whatever this is, whatever the speech is, or whatever this panel is that she's doing. That's
all she does. This is all she does, Mock. She doesn't do any actual freaking work. She just does panels. That's all she.
Every time she talks and she says this particular phrase, I just can't believe it. I cannot believe that she is still using this phrase. Listen.
To think that we should just be content with status quo, with the way things are. The point about progress is to have the ability to have a vision and a belief and some faith in what can be unburdened by what has been. And then going for it.
No! Stop it! Stop!
She did it again, you guys.
Stop it, Kamala. And what is the status quo? What is a status quo? Is that like a low pro ho? What is a status quo? I don't know what that is.
Why can
Somebody
she not
tell
get
me.
through a single talk without talking about being unburdened?
Yeah.
Why?
You guys, she also is from Gleborg 9, and somebody needs to change her battery.
Oh my God. She is just amazing.
I can't. I'm exhausted by her. She is so devastatingly stupid. I can't.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You guys remember Donald Trump recently interviewed with Megyn Kelly. It was a phenomenal interview. Fantastic. And she complimented him a lot in the after little, you know how she does a behind the scenes look at the end, and she's just like, he did great. And, you know, all the credit in the world goes to him for sitting down with me. Joe Biden would never do that. So, and she talked about their relationship, how it's complicated, but they have this mutual respect for one another.
And you and I talked about it. I'm like, they got along. I thought they had a good rapport.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. I loved it so much, blah, blah, blah. We went on and on about it. I thought it was a great interview. I loved how they were chummy with one another. They were like getting along and mixing it up. And it was like, yay, they like each other now. Yay. Yay.
Well, I guess then she made the mistake, which, has had an impact. She made the mistake of going on to Glenn Beck's show. We played the clip, I think yesterday. Where she was talking about the fact that he could not say no, a simple no to the answer, can men become women? He like hemmed and hawed about it and just couldn't just give her a direct answer. So she was on Glenn Beck to say that she thought that answer was, quote, weak sauce. And so now he's mad at her and he's talking about her because this is what he does. He was at a rally in Iowa yesterday, and here's what he said.
I sat down for an hour, and then I did a Megyn Kelly one, and she had, she became nastier all of a sudden. She was pretty nasty, didn't you think? Anybody that watched it.
Really?
Why? I can't defend him on this, you guys. I want to defend him. I can't defend him on this. She wasn't nasty.
No, she was not nasty at all.
I can't say that she was nasty. I thought that it was a nice interview. How was she nasty? Because she asked the question, can a man become a woman? That's a legit question that needs to be asked in this freaking election.
It is not a stupid question to ask, Chris.
No,
that's not stupid at all. That is a question of our time. If you can't answer no unequivocally, what are you doing running for president?
Right.
That's
or just
biology.
being a human walking around right now. I have a daughter who's 13 who's in sports, and that is a legit question. Believe me, right now, it's a legit question.
That's a very legit question.
And I get really bristly about that. You should be able to answer that question as a human freaking being right now.
Right.
What the hell? It's not a dumb question. It wasn't being nasty. Just answer the question. I can't defend this. I want to defend him. I like him. Y'all know I like him, but come on, just answer the question. This is a big deal in our society right now.
Yeah, it's pretty
big.
And
it is a federal issue.
Oh my gosh.
It's
wasn't
affecting
being everything. It's affecting schools. It's affecting sports. It's affecting women's spaces. It's affecting literally everything. So you got to be able to just say unequivocally, no.
You cannot. I can't. I wanted to, you guys, it's not a state issue. It's an everybody issue. It's a federal issue. Oh my God.
It's biology, for crying out loud. It's us, all collectively agreeing we're not going to make believe anymore. We're not going to just pacify people who are crazy. We're not doing it.
This is something conservatives need to dig their heels in on. No, I guess pun intended. But we have to dig our heels in on this. We have to know, this. People are being crazy. We have to end the crazy.
This is a non-negotiable, period.
Exactly. Good Lord.
And his campaign manager is not helping him at all. Christina Pushaw, who is DeSantis's campaign, I don't know if she's the campaign manager, but she's part of the campaign. She tweeted to Trump's campaign manager with that question, can men become women? His response was to retweet her and say, are you asking for yourself? Which was so just, it made Trump look worse by association. Like just effing say
or
no.
Just don't answer her.
Or don't answer.
Just ignore her. Just ignore.
I know.
Just ignore her. If you don't want to say, just don't. I mean, just don't answer her at all. Seriously, I would, if I were on his team, I would have been like, just ignore her. Honestly, let it go.
Or do what like 90% of Republicans want you to do, which is say, of course not. Of course men can't be women. Of course not. This is not hard.
One of the two, but this issue, man, it's not going away. And we've got to like nip it in the bud. And we don't make excuses for this crap.
Yeah.
This is like one issue where I am.
You guys, the guy that heard that F-35 plane in South Carolina crash into a field after the pilot ejected. Remember, we told you about this yesterday. It's been all over the news. The guy that heard it is my new favorite person in the universe. You will love him. This needs to immediately be songified. If somebody has that talent, please turn this into a song.
In the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching, between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this? And I heard a boom, and my whole house shook.
White says he didn't realize it was a plane at the time, so he didn't call anybody.
The first thought came to me, I said, must a meteorite come out of space or something? I said, well, if the airplane, it needed to be reported, but the thing was flying just too low.
The F-35B airplane wreckage created an extensive debris field. The wreckage is located off Old Georgetown Road. Military security is very tight with numerous red and white signs.
I trust that guy way more than the government. Like seriously, when I listen to him, I'm like, all right,
oh my God, that's
it. That's a real account right there.
Great.
That's what, and that is, if that's what it sounded like, that's what it sounded like.
It sounded exactly like that. Without question. Oh my God, I love him.
Totally.
Karen Sione, thank you so much. Karen says, totally off subject, but wanted to say happy birthday to my mom and my twin daughters who are 18. My girls are high school seniors too, Mock. Such an emotional year.
Oh my gosh. Twin 18-year-olds. Happy birthday to them.
Happy birthday to them and
God
to your mom.
Them.
Thank you so much for that. This is unbelievable. You guys have probably all kept up with all the stuff that's happening to Russell Brand. We know he's been accused by a few women of sexual assault and whatever. And there's question about whether any of it is valid. A lot of questions. But because now we live in a culture where he's guilty before any kind of trial can ever happen, he has lost all kinds of financial sponsorship. He's lost shows. He's lost all kinds of things. He's been demonetized on YouTube. It is freaking insane how our country is reacting right now. There's no due process whatsoever. And amazingly, because you could at least say, well, YouTube's a private company. They can do what they want. Okay, I think that's crazy. But if you're going to use that, fine. However, now we have an actual member of the UK Parliament sending letters to Rumble saying, hey, can you confirm that you're not going to monetize him anymore? Can you make sure that there are no creators that are going to be negatively impacted by how scary and awful he is? Can you just make sure of that, please? This is an actual letter from a member of the government in the UK telling a private company to essentially kick him off or demonetize him on their platform for something that has not been proven.
Right.
This
is coming to an America near you too. Like
God.
This will start happening here. Like, I mean, this is in the UK and everybody's like, they're commies, whatever. But I mean, you can see this happening here, right?
Oh my God.
Can't you? I can. I mean,
absolutely.
Because I mean, I look at like the Zucks and all these people. We're already from a censorship standpoint and from a monetization standpoint, being conservatives just from like 2013 on have been completely squelched in many ways. A lot of people have been ruined. We've seen a lot of our, people like our counterparts and people that we've worked with over the years been completely ruined. They've gotten off of Facebook. They've just gone into different things. And so it's happened in insidious different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I mean, so I see this and I'm like, yeah, this will happen in America. I mean, because we're already going on that slope.
This is horrifying.
Yeah, it's
thankfully, Rumble's CEO responded appropriately and said, we got this disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. You know, obviously, we're not into sexual assault, rape, and other serious crimes, but everybody is entitled to an actual investigation.
Right.
And that and these allegations in particular have nothing to do with Rumble or its platform.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing, I mean, I'm so glad, I'm so grateful for platforms like Rumble, like Locals, like Twitter, to the extent that Elon is in control of that.
Exactly.
For not kowtowing to this absolutely tyrannical commie behavior. Because this is like direct attacks on freedom, and everybody should hate it. Everybody.
But all the platforms, every American platform should be like that. That's what's so crazy. It's like you mentioned a handful, not even a handful. You mentioned 3.
Yeah.
But we have to go to these select ones to find freedom where, and everybody's like, that's great. We're grateful for those. But this is America, man. All of them should be like that. That's what's so disturbing to me. It shouldn't be like these are anomalies.
Right.
It should be that the ones that aren't like this are the anomalies. That's what freaks me out, is that it's becoming less and less free in this country. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
None of this is okay.
It's just so disheartening to see stuff like this. I mean, it makes me insane with rage. And I actually, because that particular Parliament woman is on Twitter, I tweeted at her and I was not kind. I mean, I was like, you're psychotic. Like you're legit. How do you not see that you are a total commie? Like, how are you okay with yourself right now? You're supposed to be a member of a Western government. What is wrong with you?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't like that. She probably is okay with it. She's probably absolutely delighted with herself.
Oh my God.
They hate free speech. I mean, she's probably so happy about it. She probably thinks that she's some crusader for the good, the greater good.
Oh my God. All right. Yesterday we spent quite a bit of time on looking for an explanation from people who believe that John Fetterman has a body double. Like, we were wanting to know, can you please explain how that would work if that's the case? We got an email yesterday from someone with an explanation, and it is so completely wild that I had to share it because I know that this is really how people think. And this woman that sent the email, I'm not even going to name her because I don't know if she wants to be named, but she sent this and was clear to say, I do not believe this. Like, I don't believe this, but I know why people do believe it, and it's a Q thing. It turns out it's a Q thing. So I'm going to put her explanation on the screen and read it for those who are not watching and only listening. She says, I think I can explain the body double stuff. It all centers around Q. Oh, shoot. Hang on. Let me get back to that and pause. She says, people who have followed Q believe that many celebrities and politicians like the Clintons, Tom Hanks, et cetera, have already been in front of military tribunals and have been sentenced to death by firing squad, hanging, etc. They believe that the real Joe Biden or the real Hillary Clinton or the real John Fetterman have been executed and replaced with one or more body doubles. As to the why, the reasoning is basically the same as why the government doesn't declassify UFO information, that the general public can't handle the truth. So the body doubles serve to keep the public calm versus creating panic in the streets because people have been executed and because of the horrendous nature of the crimes these people have committed in order to warrant said execution.
But why were they executed?
Because they did something bad. I don't know.
What did they
what did Tom Hanks do? I didn't even know Tom Hanks was part of this.
Well, he was in that movie The Burbs. I hated that movie. You guys really? I mean, that was like his worst movie ever.
Oh my God, this is so batshit. Like, I could not believe what I was reading. But then I was like, these are the same people that are like, John F. Kennedy Jr. is alive. And they believed that on Inauguration Day for Biden, that like, it was all like Trump was going to be rightly named the president and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Like, they believe this with their whole selves. They believe it. So that is a good explanation for why some people believe that there is a body double.
And they think the Clintons have been shot.
They're all fake. They've all been executed.
Executed? I'm sorry, executed. I don't know how they actually were executed. Firing squad. Okay, yeah, firing squad.
Oh my God.
Okay, so wow, the Clintons.
So insane.
Wow, Linda said she's heard this over and over from people. Wow.
This is the thing. The Q theories are somewhat well known by the people that follow this. Now,
except for by me, I didn't. This is a first for me.
I don't either. But this woman who sent the email, she's fascinated by it. She does not believe it. She's just fascinated by it, so she keeps up with it, and that's why she was able to give us this information.
Okay, all right. Well, that's an explanation.
Yeah, it's an explanation, all right. And meanwhile, John Fetterman raking in money, merchandising off of this theory. He's now selling these shirts on his website that say John Fetterman's body double.
$35 a pop. And
they're selling.
Oh my God.
Yeah. God. You know they're selling.
Capitalism is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Beautiful thing.
Oh my God. Anyway, so that's a lot of, it's time for whack now.
All right. The dolls.
Okay, let me.
So there's this chick who has. There's this chick. They don't have children yet. It's her. She's 27. I think her husband is like, I don't know, maybe 30. Something like that. They're like 30 and under. They don't have children, but they're preparing for children. So they have like 13 creepy dolls, and they walk around with these dolls.
They're super lifelike.
They are very lifelike. She has spent like almost $8,000 on these dolls. That is a lot of money to spend on dolls. I mean, you might as well just have kids. I don't know why. Just have the kids, because kids are freaking expensive. So just have the children. Like, why would you spend this much money on dolls? But she's like obsessed with these dolls. And she'll put them in car seats. She'll drive them around. She puts them in strollers. She really loves walking around in strollers with the dolls. She has a favorite. I can't remember which one her favorite is, because it's
the newest one. It's her new itty bitty baby that she's holding.
Tiny itty bitty, the one that she's holding. That would make sense, because it's her favorite. But yeah, she has all different ages. I don't know where you get these things, but they do look
they look very, very real. Let me see if there's other.
Do look pretty real. And people will stop her on the street and be like, "Oh my God, what's your son's name or whatever?" And she'll tell them. She has names obviously for all of them. And
I saw there was a TikTok that it was like it was one of those live TikToks that was happening the other day, where there was a woman who has these kinds of dolls, and she had one. She was holding this creepy little doll and showing how you're supposed to like clean it and like oil it or moisturize it in some way. And I was like, why is this in my feed? Why?
Okay. It's pretty creepy. Now, I will say, my husband and I, we live here in a small town in Texas, and we go to like this, we go a couple times, maybe like once or twice a month, we'll go to this little cafe in McGregor, Texas. And it is, a little hometown cafe. And she hasn't been there lately. So we're kind of wondering, we were talking about this last night. I'm like, I wonder what happened to this old lady. But it was this old, very, very old lady. I mean, when I say old, she's probably in her 90s. And her husband was obviously in better shape than she is. And they drove, because we would see, they drove their car, and he'd drive her in there. And she had one of these babies. She would carry the baby in with her. And my husband's like, that's a little weird. And I'm like, well, honey, I think she has Alzheimer's or she has some sort of dementia. And that baby is probably, I don't know if that baby reminds her of somebody or maybe. And it was kind of sweet, And I was like, if I get Alzheimer's or dementia one day and I want a baby, you better damn well let me have a little baby, because
no one's going to stop you.
You better not stop me. And if I want to go to the cafe and hold my baby and I want to get my eggs and bacon, you better let me have my eggs and bacon and my baby. All right. And so we had a conversation, but she'd hold on to it and like kind of rock the baby. And it was the sweetest. So as creepy as that chick is, that also, like a lot of women, she said Andrea said a lot of women with dementia have the dolls to help them. And I think it helped her in some way. And so it was there was a part of me, I just got emotional watching this woman because I think it really did help her. So that feels
sweet. Different to me than this chick who's like, I'm practicing to have a real baby.
It was extremely different, different. But this sweet old couple they were darling, you guys, just darling. And he would help her into her chair with her little baby doll. And it's just the sweetest thing.
That is really sweet.
So anyways, that's the flip side of the creepiness. But that other chick, it's getting a little out of control with the doll collection. All right.
A little out of control.
Just saying. Right.
A quick reminder to everybody to please visit mypillow.com/chicks. Get 50% off of their towel sets right now. Less than $40 for a set of 6 towels. The best, thirstiest, yummiest, juiciest, most gloriously perfect towels on the planet can be found at mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. Make sure to use code chicks to get you the deepest discounts on those towels and on so many other great products at mypillow.com/chicks. Let's get to some talks. We're going to start with one that's a little bit serious. You hear a lot from Black people that they say Black people can't be racist because of like, what's the excuse? Institutionalized history.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I think it's all crap. Anybody can be racist.
Of course they can. And this guy proves it so well. Here he is. And go.
So she was also asked this question. Here's your answer.
Try not to be white.
It's wild. Okay, so let's go back and see kind of what else was said.
Today would call what you're saying racist. Yeah, I am racist. Are you serious? Or 100%. So you just don't like white people as a whole? No.
Now, what's crazy about this is another example of Black privilege. Because if a white person came out like that and said, I am racist and I do not like Black people, they would likely be fired from their job. They would likely be barred from other opportunities of employment in the future. Their social media would be destroyed. They'd probably be getting death threats. I mean, people would do everything in their power to bury this person in the ground. She says it, and I do not see near the same energy to go and destroy her life. And I really don't understand why people don't feel we should treat everybody equally. And I know a bunch of people are going to try to say history. Well, history. No. Do you guys think that history should justify bad behavior all the time when it comes to Black Americans? I know I don't think so. I think we should all be held to the same standard. So she was also...
He's adorable.
I love him so much.
I feel like he should be a Gen Xer because that's how a lot of us feel in that generation. And then everything got ruined. I think most of it by Obama. But he's precious. He's so cute too.
Yeah, I know. I love him. He's a great follow, Jeffrey Mead. Morgan, thank you, Morgan. Morgan says, my aunt had a baby doll from 90 to 101, and it gave her something to care for. I love it.
Love that so much. See? So, I mean, it's whack in some cases.
It's so cute.
But then like the flip side is it's really sweet. I'll probably end up with a baby doll. I'll just be out of my mind. My hair will be sticking up. I'll be I'll be bald. I'll be completely bald. I mean, with no eyelashes, no eyebrows, and I'll be like that crazy lady with the baby doll. My husband would be like, oh, just give her some bacon,
I saw a video with a Great Dane and the tiniest puppy ever that is so precious. Look at this.
Oh my God. Is it a Chihuahua?
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny teacup Chihuahua.
Look at him. He's like, you can climb up there. That's cool. I'll let you lay there.
He's like, do I feel something on me? No, I don't.
That's really cute. They're probably best friends.
Isn't that the sweetest?
Very sweet.
So this is horrifying. If you like hiking in like amazing, beautiful the great outdoors and particularly gorgeous places like Glacier National Park, you need to watch yourself because you might come across a giant ram and you need to be careful.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
They had to climb the side of a mountain in case they were going to get run over by this thing.
Oh my God. Is there another one?
Yeah.
Is there another one? I would be freaking out.
I would be terrified.
This is why you don't hike, you guys.
Look at how gorgeous that is. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
I am not a hiker. I'm just not a...
And this is like a nice path. You know what I mean? Like this is obviously a well-traversed.
Yeah, but it's
and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? What you guys doing? I'm going to run.
Oh my God.
Isn't that wild?
It is pretty. Yeah, it's wild because it's out in the wild. We're not supposed to be there. That's it.
It's true. We're not.
It's like people who go out in the ocean and they're like, look at all these whales and stuff. You're not supposed to be there. We don't have gills. It's not our place, man. Let them have their place.
Remember yesterday when we showed like the person that opened up the hood of its car and there was like that possum that was laughing. I mean, it wasn't really laughing, but they put it to the sound of laughing.
He was like you. He's basically you as a possum. Yeah.
Okay, well, now that I've liked that and I've shown it, now clearly I am on some sort of a laughing possum algorithm.
Oh my God.
Because this is what ended up in my feed yesterday.
We're going to have one of these every day now. I just know it. Every day. We're going to have one. Every single day.
I love that so
You guys
much.
get ready. Somebody said moxum. It's what it is. It's a moxum.
Oh my God.
Doorknob head.
So much. Also, I was not aware. I know some people have ducks as pets. I know that's a thing. I did not know that you could train ducks to do tricks.
They're actually pretty smart. Our neighbors, the ranchers, they have several ducks.
Are they trained?
I mean, I don't think theirs are trained. They're too busy like dealing with cattle and all the other animals on the ranch. But their ducks are, I mean, they're beautiful. And I'm pretty sure that they're probably trainable, but they have not trained them. No.
This duck is trained and I'm going to show you its trick.
God, they're so cute.
Big hop.
Oh,
girl.
He does a big hop.
I mean, that is just so sweet. It's a she.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Oh, good girl.
Just a sweetheart.
I love her. I didn't know you could do that.
They're so sweet. They really are.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I found a video that is you and me whenever we travel, not just for work, but like when we travel together. You and I have big plans.
We do.
Right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go out. We're gonna
have
hit the town.
plans
and lots of luggage, lots of clothes that we never wear. You guys, ever.
So this video is literally how you and I travel.
Okay, I'm gonna go work out for an hour and then do some sightseeing around the city.
Yes,
this is gonna be a good trip.
So us. So us.
That is how we travel.
Every single time. We're going to go see all the things, do all the things. Let's go. Let's have this on night 1, this on night 2. And then it's like, what are we going to watch on Netflix? Let's get takeout. We haven't left this room in 3 days. Do you have gummy bears? It's like, seriously, what would you for
Did you bring enough sets of PJs to accommodate?
I haven't showered since we got here. Do I smell? I'm sorry, I smell.
That is literally conversations we've had verbatim on trips.
For 15 years. This is what we do.
There was a dog that somehow accidentally was in a news interview, and it was unexpected and hysterical.
His face. Oh my God, his face.
And the guy that's supposed to be...
Oh my God, I love it. That dog's like, what? I'm here. What do you want to ask me?
I thought we had a 2:00. What's going on?
Like, what? Seriously. There's he's like a boxer mix, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he is? They always look like somebody owes them money or they owe somebody money or like there's just money that's involved in the transaction.
Oh my God. I just love
he's
that.
so freaking cute. I want to just squeeze his face.
I think it's really cool. I love this video. I don't know if you're going to love this video. I thought this was like amazing because, you know, when we go outside in the world, everybody, you hear birds, right? I mean, you hear the chirpy chirpies of various birds.
Yeah,
Some people who are like super into bird watching can identify certain birds by the sounds that they make and so on. And it's cool. It's great. Like birds make sounds. That's neat. I have never seen up close the way that birds make sounds. And somebody clearly has a pet bird and you can see it. And I just thought this was super interesting. I hope you guys think so too.
It's a beautiful bird.
Isn't that crazy cool?
God, it's so pretty.
So many sounds.
Wow.
Anyway, I just thought that was super cool.
Did you see the first comment? He was like, R2D2, is that you? That's pretty funny.
I mean, I've just never seen their little throats go like how they do. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So anyway,
Yeah,
I
it
just thought
was
it
a
was
beautiful
neat.
bird. It's really, really pretty.
Those are your talks for today.
Good talks. Okay. Astra's not in here again. You want me to grab her?
Yeah.
We have to say, okay, I'll grab her. Hold on.
Hello.
You guys,
This is
talk
not even a
amongst yourselves
question.
for 2 seconds.
You guys, I did leave out like one montage of videos that I hoped we would get to, but we're like so late already. We'll get to it tomorrow. And it's good stuff. We'll do that tomorrow. Is she there? Is she there?
She's here.
Yes, she
Are
is.
you gonna say goodbye to everybody?
Oh, look at that.
She just knows. It's like she knows now. You know. You just know, don't you? Don't whip my
What a
stuff
good
out.
girl.
You're a good girl. Okay, it's Thursday, everybody. I hope everybody has we gotta bring it in. We gotta bring it in. You gotta bring it in. Everybody bring it in. It's a hug. Oh, it's a hug. Hello. Don't break my jaw. Don't break my jaw. She's so excited. Okay, everybody have a fantastic Thursday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, everybody.